I'm going to give you 30 seconds to get your papers out. At the end of those 30 seconds, I'm going to call on someone to read the problem, and then we're going to go through the cycle of how we should be solving these number story problems. So just give me a thumbs up once you have that paper so I know we can move on. Great, thank you, Katie and Kiara, Adelaide. Thank you, Eric, Joseph, Anaya, Josue, Miss Tinty, Synovia. Another 10 seconds to get yourselves together. Thank you, Angelina. All right, so here we have this problem. Katie, can you unmute yourself and read this problem, please? Go ahead and read.
A right rectangular prism has a length of 2.5 feet, a width of 3 feet, and a height of 1.5 feet. Unit cubes with sides lengths of 1/2 foot are added to completely fill the prism with no space remaining. What is the volume in the cubic feet of the right rectangular prism?
Thank you very much. Please mute yourself. So we've solved problems like this earlier on, right before school was switched to remote learning. So I know there's like a lot going on. I want you to start with a known and unknown list of what things that you know and things that we need to know. Once you've done that, just give me the thumbs up so that we can move on. So Anthony, I should see your pencil moving. If it's not, you're writing? Okay, great. Quincy, can you see this problem? You're unmuted. I can hear you if you're going to talk. Okay. Great. Take another 10 seconds to wrap up your last thoughts. Down. Anthony, go ahead and tell me what's one thing that you know.
One thing that I know is that one of the lengths is 2.5 feet.
All right. Jessica, what's one thing that you know? You have to unmute yourself, honey. Go ahead.
I know that there's a width of 3 feet.
All right, go ahead and mute yourself. And Synovia, what's one thing that you know?
I know that the height is 1.5 feet.
Great, go ahead and mute yourself. And everyone told me these dimensions, but what shape are we working with? I'm not sure what shape we're working with. Go ahead, Anaya.
We're working with a right rectangular prism.
Right, so we're doing a right rectangular prism. Is that all that we know? Great, that's not all that we know. We're still missing another piece of information. Nana, can you tell me what we're missing?
We're still missing that we need to know what the volume of the cubic in cubic feet of the figure in cubic feet.
I want you to go back to the text and use what's in the text. So we know what the dimensions are. We know that it's a rectangular prism. What else are we trying to, what else do we know?
Oh, we also know that 1/2 unit cubes are used to fill the entire prism.
Great, and I love how everybody's either agreeing or disagreeing with what she just said. 1/2 unit cubes to fill box. Right. What do we not know? What are some things that we don't know right now? Go ahead, Elijah.
We don't know the volume of the right rectangular prism.
So volume of right rectangular prism. And I'm just gonna write RRP for right rectangular prism. What's another thing we don't know? RRP. Oh. Let's see, Silas.
Thing that we don't know is how many half-inch cubes could fit in the figure.
How many 1/2 cubes can fit in the RR? Great. So I think we're off to a great start. We have our known and unknown already set up. The next thing I want you to do on your own, take about 2 minutes to figure out a plan on how we could solve this problem. I solved this problem earlier and I found 2 ways to solve it. Maybe somebody else can find a 3rd way, or you might find the 2 ways that I solved it as well. Once you've written out your plan, go ahead and either give me a thumbs up or put your pencils down so that I know you're done. Yes, Logan.
Can I go? May I please use the bathroom?
Yes, you may. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up. That means that a lot of people already have a plan, or some people are still working. I'm going to give you another 30 seconds for those who are still working. I want to hear from Esther and Angelina. And Esther, what plan did you come up with?
The plan I came up with was that I was gonna use the length, the width, and the height that we already know and multiply it and get the volume. And then I was planning to then that I know that we're trying to figure out how many 1/2 unit cubes fit in. I was gonna multiply the 1/2 by the volume I got, and I was gonna figure out, and then I'm gonna get how many half unit cubes fit in the prism.
And how would you do that? So first you said you would find the volume of the right rectangular prism, and then find the volume of the 1/2 inch cubes. And then what would be your last step?
My last step, it would be I don't know. Hmm.
What did you say, Esther?
I said that I don't quite know yet.
All right, thank you. So Esther has a good plan, a great start out. She wants to find the volume of the rectangular prism first, and then she wants to go and find the volume of the unit cube. What would be her last step in order to figure out how many 1/2 inch unit cubes could fit inside of the rectangular prism? What would be her last step? Go ahead, Adelaide.
Okay, so her last step will be that she has to divide the total volume by the volume of the unit cubes to find how many unit cubes go inside the figure.
Divide the RRP volume by the volume of 1/2 inch. Whoops, 1/2 inch cubes. Now that's one way to solve. Thank you. Angelina, did you come up with another way, or did you solve it the same way that, did you come up with a plan that was similar to Esther's? Hello? No? Okay, moving on. Who has a different plan that's different from Esther's plan? Who has a plan that's completely different from Esther's plan? Silas, I seen your hand first. Go ahead and try to unmute yourself. All right. Go ahead.
The plan that I decided to do is that take each of the measurements of the figure and divide it by 1/2. And then after that, after I find it, I'll add them all up together in order to figure it out.
Go to Jacob. Go ahead, Jacob. Jacob, go ahead. Tell me.
I'm just gonna erase my known and unknown chart so that I have space for what Silas just said. Silas, can you say it for me one more time? Go ahead.
Okay, so basically what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna take each of the measurements of the figure, and then after that divide each measurement by 1/2, and then after doing that, and then after that, I'll add up the stuff that I have left over in order to figure out how many 1/2 cubes could fit in the figure.
So what I'm hearing you say is you'll take each dimension. So you would use the length and divide it by 1/2, and you take the width and divide it by 1/2, and you take the height and divide it by 1/2. But what do you do once you have all of those totals? Do you add it, Silas?
Yeah.
Why do you think you would add it? Do we agree or disagree with what he just said? He said he would add all of the dimensions after. Show that you agree or you disagree with what Silas just said. I got 2 disagrees, another disagree. I need to see 100% of people agreeing or disagreeing. Go ahead and tell me why you disagree, Lamont. You can speak.
Because I think since it's a 3D figure and we're trying to find the volume, we have to multiply it.
Thank you. So here are 2 different ways to solve it. I want you to take one of those ways and solve it on your own. I'm going to give you the next 7 minutes to go ahead and solve it on your own, and then we'll have somebody present. So you can start on your 7 minutes now. And as you guys are working, make sure to add in your dimensions, your units, and show all of your work so that we know that you're understanding the concept. Quincy, are you solving? Just give me a thumbs up in the camera if you're solving, Quincy. Not right at this moment, okay, when we're done. You have about 4 minutes left. If you found one way and you use one of the plans, try to find another way outside of those two plans I just provided and solve it. When we're done, I definitely want to hear from Bintu and one more person who found it outside, a different way, outside of the two plans provided. We have about 2 minutes left. Naya, honey, I know you're at home, but I want you to focus, okay? Thank you. All right, 30 seconds left. Wrap up your work. If you're already done, I want you to write a sentence at the end that's gonna summarize exactly what you did and write your answer in a full sentence. The volume, write your answer in a full sentence. The question was, what is the volume in cubic feet of the right rectangular prism? The volume of the right rectangular prism is blank. I want you to write that, what your answer is, as a full sentence. All right, and pencils down in 3, and in 2, 1, and 0. Great. So, who was the first person I said I wanted to hear from that used one of the plans? Bintu, that was you. So, Bintu, which plan did you use? Did you use the first plan or did you use the second plan to solve?
I think I used the first plan to solve.
You used the first plan. All right, give me 1 second so I could get this ready for you. And you could tell me what exactly I should be writing.
So first, I drew a rectangular prism, and where the width should be, I put a line under it, and I wrote W equals 3 because the width was 3 feet. And then where the length should be, I put a line under that, but L equals 2.5. And where the H should be, I put a line next to that and put H equals 1.5. Then I wrote the algorithm for volume, which was V equals L times W times H, which is volume equals length times width times height. And after that, I replaced the length times width times height with 1.5 times 3 times 2.5. And then under that, I put 7.5 times 1.5 because I multiplied the length and the width first, which got me to 7.5. And then I did 7.5 times 1.5 and got 11.25, which is equal to 11 1/4. And then I turned that into an improper fraction and got 45/4. Then I drew a cube, and for the length, width, and height, I put 1/2. So I had to do 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. And then I got 1/8 as a cube volume. So I knew I had to do 45/4 divided by 1/8, which equals to 45/4 times 8. And that got me to 360/4. And I knew 360/4 also means 360 divided by 4, and that got me my 90. So my answer is that the volume was 11 1/4 cubic feet, and 90 unit cubes could fill up the rectangular prism.
So Bintu got 90 unit cubes could fit in this rectangular prism. Go ahead and show if you agree or disagree with what Bintu just got. You're either agreeing or you are disagreeing with what Bintu just got. I don't see all hands. You're either agreeing, no thumbs up, or you're disagreeing. Great, so 90 cubes is correct. That's one way to solve. What would be another way to solve? Bintu, you could go ahead and mute yourself. What would be another way to solve? Let's see, go ahead and just raise your hand, do the raise hand buttons. Go ahead and press the raise hand buttons if there's another way you use to solve. I know we wrote 2 plans out. Go ahead, Lemuel. Hold on. Yes, Lemuel.
I
I used the second plan. And
You said you used the second one?
that's what I did. Yeah, but I drew a rectangular prism.
Give me 1 second, because my erase is not working. Okay, so we had this as 2 1/2 feet. This is 3 feet, and this as 1 1/2 feet. Now, Lamal, can you tell us and walk us through the way that you solved this problem?
Okay. So how I solved this problem was that first, I looked at the length and the width and the height, and then I knew I had to divide it by 1/2. So then I divided all of them by 1/2.
So what would be the formula that I would need to write out? Remember, you want to show your formula, and you always want to show your units and all of the work that you're doing, so that when someone sees your work, they know exactly what you did.
So what I did was, the formula was length divided by 1/2, and
Length divided by 1/2.
in parentheses, and then times
Mm-hmm.
width divided by 1/2.
And then?
Times height divided by 1/2.
Then the height divided by 1/2. Agree or disagree that this is the formula you would need to set up for the second plan that we wrote out? You're either agreeing or disagreeing that this was the formula for the second plan we wrote out. I need to see all fists and hands inside of the screen. You're either agreeing or you're disagreeing. Great, so we can agree that this is the formula. Thank you so much, Lamal. Kiara, can you also just pick this up? What would I need to fill in order for this to be true? What will I need to continue to fill in? Give me 1 second. Go ahead.
In order to fill this in, you're gonna have to put times 1/2.
What am I putting for length? What am I putting for my length? Length
So your
divided by
length?
1/2.
Oh, you're gonna have to do 2 1/2.
2 1/2 divided by 1/2 times what else?
3 divided by 1/2. And then 1 1/2.
Times 1 1/2 divided by 1/2. Thank you very much. Now we have this already set up. If you have your calculators, go ahead and use them. I want you to show me in the screen, what would 2 1/2 divided by 1/2 be? Show me on your hands, what would 2 1/2 divided by 1/2 be? I've got Quincy, I've got Elijah, let's go hands. I've got Anthony, Anaya, Lemuel, Bintu. 2 1/2 divided by 1/2. I've got Adelaide, Esther. You're showing me what number, Katie? Not if you agree or disagree. You're showing me what number it would be. Thank you, Katie. Great, thank you, Joseph. Naya, we're missing you. Alejandro, we're missing you. Thank you, Synovia. Thank you, Josue. Great, so you should have 5. So now you'll have 5 times, what is 3 divided by 1/2? Once you get that answer, show me on your hands what it looks like. What is that answer? 3 divided by 1/2. I've got Katie, I've got Kiara, I've got Silas, Nana, Esther, Joseph, Eric, Naya, Anthony, Anaya. Great. Looks like Angelita, we're missing your hand. Great, and we have you as well. Now you have 5 times 6 times, what is 1 1/2 divided by 1/2? Show me on your hands. 1 1/2 divided by 1/2. Great, I've got Elijah, Synovia, Brianna, Joseph, Naya, Eric, Manuel, Anthony, Anaya. Great, seems like we have 100% of people saying that this is 3. Once you get your answer, don't tell me. I want you to just point to your brain once you have your answer. Once you have your answer, just go ahead and point to your brain. 5 times 6 times 3. Once you get that answer, point to your brain. Great. Quincy, can you tell me what 5 times 6 times 3 is?
90.
90. Thank you so much. Now, I just seen Aubriana agree or disagree if you think that it is 90. Great. Put your hands down. What does this 90 even represent? What does this 90 represent? Let's get those hands going. What does this 90 represent? I've got 2 hands. I know we can get more hands than this. 3 hands, 4 hands. Logan, what does this 90 represent?
The 90 represents the 90 represents here the.
Send some shine to Logan. What does that 90 represent, Logan? I'm going to scroll back up for the problem. What does that 90 represent? Come on, everyone send shine to Logan. What does that 90 represent?
The part where you have to fill the space, you have to fill the prism with no space remaining.
Exactly. That is the amount of 1/2 boxes that can fill up the right rectangular prism. Now, I want to write this out as a full sentence. What would I need to write as a sentence to just complete this problem? What would I need to write as a sentence? Oh, give me 1 second. Silas, go ahead. You had your hand raised, right?
No.
Okay. How would I sum up this problem? So the question asks us, what was the volume of the rectangular prism, and then how many 1/2 boxes could fit inside of this rectangular prism? So how do I take those 2 answers we got and put it in a sentence? Let's see, Eric, I haven't heard from you. Eric, can you put that in a sentence for us? So I'll give you a sentence starter. The volume of the rectangular prism
The volume of the rectangular prism.
Do you know what the volume was, Eric?
90. 90.
No, sir. We already said what 90 represents. 90 represents the 1/2 boxes that fit inside the rectangular prism. Bintu had told us what the volume of that rectangular prism was before. Can anybody remember what that was? Anybody remember what that was? Adelaide?
Volume of the rectangular prism was 11 1/4.
11 1/4. Or you can do 11.25. And what would my units be, Adelaide?
Your units would be feet cubed. Cube feet. Cubic feet.
Cube. And now continuing with that, thank you much. What I can now say, how many one half boxes fit inside of this rectangular prism, and how would I put that as a sentence? Anaya, I'm trying to find you. Gotcha. Great, go ahead.
Can you repeat the question?
How many 1/2 boxes fit in this rectangular prism?
90.
And how would I write that out as a sentence?
You could write 90 1/2 boxes fit in this right rectangular prism.
There are 90 1/2 inch cubes that fit in this rectangular prism. All right. And that is all that we have for today, children. You guys did a wonderful job of sending shine to each other and participating and staying in the camera. I'd appreciate if you stay like this all the rest of the day. Make sure that you're paying attention to your teachers as much as possible. I know that we're all home and it is